in every athletic sport, speed is a very big component of having ability in that sport. And we want to train speed and work speed in our warm-up and get ready for that speed for any sport that we do. And I ask beginners to be able to do some of these moves. We have 5 moves for the beginners to do, and we go up to a total of 12 for the advanced. And so right now I'm going to show you the beginner moves that we're trying to do in our warm-up to promote great striding and great speed ability. And if I had 3 things to tell every beginner about running, is that number 1, the arm is bent at about 90 degrees. So we're running. This would be our arm movement. Hands, fingertips are loose here. So this is, we don't show a lot of flexion from the elbow. We're trying to keep this here. When I'm also working on my sprinting, the second thing is I'm working on keeping my upper body erect and straight. And there's reasons for this. There are people that feel differently about having their body tilted and stuff. To have it erect and straight, it allows your ab or your core, your trunk area, to stabilize your running. So this is the key on working that core to stabilize and keep that nice and stiff. This part should be stiff. This should be stiff when we work sprinting. So that's number 2, stiff core, arms flowing like this to the back of my pocket with my hand without any flexion or coming across. I see a lot of athletes run like this. They're wasting energy running side to side versus they're trying to go forward on that sprint. This is about linear speed, sprinting this way. Agility is different. The other thing is I really try to work my clients for speed to get up more in their mid to upper part of their foot on their strike. There really aren't that many fast people in the world that actually hit heel first, and I call that like putting the brakes on. My legs get straight and I put my heel down first. So the third thing is I try to get them to feel that they can land mid-foot and then roll off that big toe push for speed. So we have the arms, we have the stiff body, and we have the mid-foot strike. Those are 3 things I'm looking for beginner athletes to learn as they start to do some speed training. Now when we do these 3 things, you're going to start to feel, we're going to work these in our exercise now in our first 5 drills. So if you drill improperly, you promote bad form in sprinting, which is going to take away your speed. So we want to start to work this. Another big reason why it's important, you'll see this in our first couple drills, why we keep our body erect and straight, is that it allows for bigger knee lift. The more I come over, it allows for smaller knee lift. So we're worried about knee lift and getting that up. So you're actually running with your knees and your elbows moving. And everything else from the head down to that core should be very stiff. So it's stiff running. The first one I want kids to do, and we start this off in tennis, golfers, baseball, anyone, you start off with some high knees, which is about 90 degrees. Some people call them double skips or whatever. Just high knees at about 90 degrees to warm up this warm up. So it looks a little bit like this. I do it for about 20 yards when I work with the kids, and from my beginner athletes, work about 20 yards or 20 meters down the track or down the road or on the field to get them warmed up. I'll just show you a few steps of high knees right now. Stiff upper body, arms working, and we're going to hit mid-foot. We're promoting that hit. From there, I ask them to do a backwards run. They should be able to run backwards. I'm in more favor of that than skipping, so we want to be able to high knee backwards. And then we should be able to go from I'm going to go right at the camera here, high knee forward to a sprint. And we can be able to sprint right off from there. The other ones that I'm looking to do, the last 2, are things that beginners should be able to do as well. And this is about lateral movement. And this can be somewhat difficult for some of the beginners, but I think it's important to be able to open up their hips, like some of the exercise we did in our balance reaches and our lunges to open up our hips. Here we're looking for a little bit of sideways movement, where you're going to step back, step forward, and then raise that knee across. So you can start off going low like this, if the kids kind of a karaoke type of step they call it, back and forth to kind of warm up. And then as you get going, you want to open up that hip. And we don't want to have a low hip, we want to have a high hip to open it up. I'm into big strides, big wheels for speed, not smaller ones. So this really helps us get those big wheels going. So look like this, up, up. And then if I came back, up this way, to kind of get that lateral movement. The fifth one we're looking for the kids to do, or adults that are beginners, to get them started off with some speed training, is to really feel that mid-foot strike. And to really start to get a straight leg, it's called straight leg bound. And I'm gonna land in the middle of my foot and push off. And it's called straight leg bound. And these are the 5 steps to beginners' movement, to feel the explosion, to feel the arms, their stiff body, and a great mid-foot landing.